Morning, everyone. Welcome to another White Eagle service. March today? Thank you so much for coming to our service today, and welcome to everyone on the computers, live streaming, Facebook, and through our website. Let us open in prayer. Before we commence the service today, let's just take a few minutes to attune to the light, the power, and the wisdom of the star of light. Feel the light filling our whole being. Our thoughts and emotions become still and centered on the light. Feel the peace of the angels of light drawing close and enfolding us in their love. Being in such a state of peace and light, we open ourselves to the words of wisdom from White Eagle. The 7 colors of the spectrum, the 7 rays, and the white brotherhood. This was chosen by Gay, and she gave me a little task to read White Eagle and then interpret the second part. So the first part will be White Eagle, and then the second part will be my interpretation of the article. So, let's go. Think first of the first great cause, the sun, and see if you can, emanating from that sun, the 7 rays, the 7 colors of the spectrum. Now see that the rays from the sun, or this first principle, are permeating all life. Each ray is connected with the sun and one of the 7 planets. And all who work within the soul of man for the evolution, growth, and gradual perfecting of the individual spirit. People talk about the masters too loosely, limiting them to earthly personality. Realize that there are many facets of a jewel, and the human personality you know is one small facet. Many, many lives go to the building of that great being we recognize as a complete master of life. Picture not a limited man, but a great being at the head of a ray, of which there are 7, with 7 great beings, 7 silent watches over humanity and over the earth. Get a broader vision and remember that there are other systems, other suns, other universes, and yet are all linked and are all part of the great whole. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Man incarnation is affected by all time by the planetary influences which play upon human life through the chakras, which are the windows of man's soul. Each chakra is linked with its planet and with the color associated with that planet. Thus, in healing, a group is guided to use mentally certain rays of color to heal, to bring harmony into the soul, bring harmony into the human body, to restore what is lacking. All need healing in one form or another, for none is perfect yet. To you, the physical system is the first sign of the disease, but is the general vibration, the harmony of the individual that is first disturbed, and which is the cause of the physical disorder. An orchestra must be perfectly and exactly attuned, and its conductor on rapport with his players, if he would bring forth lovely harmonies, so also with man. Has anyone been checking out the night sky recently? The Venus and Jupiter conjunction, Mars, Moon. I've been watching. It's quite nice. Don't know what the colours are though, so hopefully Gay will help us out. So now on to my interpretation. I listen to all sorts of music, but I prefer music without lyrics. I do not know why, I just do. Maybe because I get caught up in the lyrics instead of the music, the beat, the melody, the vibration of the song. I definitely notice the difference in my body when listening to music with and without lyrics. I absorb the vibration and fully immerse myself with that vibration and get transported away to somewhere that I cannot describe because I don't go anywhere or see anything but living in the music vibration wherever I am. Now, nature music, my favorite music of all time. When I hear the wind dancing through the atmosphere, you can sort of see it a little bit now, whistling through the trees, whether it be gently flowing or raging, I get distracted from that vibration, that hum, and get transported to bliss. Now, the hum that I hear is not quite the om sound yet, but it is just slightly different language at the moment. And yes, I got distracted whilst I was writing my talk because it was actually quite windy. Storms were brewing and I was constantly looking outside, getting distracted, and Gay wasn't too happy with me. Constantly looking outside instead of typing away and being in the zone. Sorry. Where am I? So when I hear nature singing away, I feel at peace, harmonious with myself and my surroundings, and to be honest, I forget where I am. Now, the part that I always find funny, when I describe how I am feeling about a certain topic, Gay will always give me some White Eagle information that is available so I can find the information about that topic. And White Eagle and I, so far, seem to be on the same page, so I'm doing something right. I have bought most of the White Eagle books, but I will be honest with you, I've probably only read completely 2 of them because I get distracted very easily by nature. So it's a real challenge for me to sit and read when I'm looking outside. So a lot of work for me to do. This is White Eagle's words, thoughts on nature and music. Thus, these 5 senses, though primary of the physical body, are fundamentally of the cosmic body. Air. Now we relate the element air to the sense of hearing. White Eagle continues. Can you recall the reaction upon your feelings or soul body while listening to music which deeply moves you, or when you listen to the wind in the trees? Or do you not get any reaction? Do you reach out and touch something not purely physical, not only some vibration of the air? How did music originate? By an effort to reproduce the sounds in the air created by the winds. It's pretty cool. And as you attune your hearing to these vibrations of sound and reach behind the physical to the inner hearing, you'll hear the mysterious word, the great word of power, the creative word pervading the air. Wadi continues. Listen when you're in the country, and if you can silence the lower or objective senses and open the inner hearing, and supreme experience. Hear the great word Om. Om. Pervade all things. God's voice, the voice of the cosmic body. It's pretty cool. So now back to me. Breathing in the light. I, like many followers of White Eagle, have read and heard those words. Breathe in the light. What does that actually mean? Because we breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. So my thoughts on breathing in the light are simple. When I breathe in, I try to mentally say to myself that on the in-breath, I am receiving the breath of God, the light that sustains my physical body, as well as my spiritual body, and all life seen and unseen. This light that is flooding my body nourishes me in many ways that I am yet to understand, but yet I know. As I am filling my body with oxygen, the light, I then I try to visualize the light flowing up through my left foot, up my left side, imagining that my body is being flooded full of light and healing me as it's moving. Up over my head, and then down the right side of my body, exiting at the bottom of my right foot, and then completing the circle to my left foot to start again. This breathing in the light helps me to relax and to remind myself that everything is okay, and that whatever got the better of me was all for a learning experience. I'll keep working on myself, knowing that if I am harmonious, at peace, and loving myself, and also my surroundings, the Mother Earth, one day my jewel will be polished and shining ever so brightly. When I think about my own heart, my sun, my universe, really think about it, about what I love, I get this burning sensation like it is about to burst into flames. And that is when I am thinking, seeing, listening to the wonderful, magical planet Earth and the cosmos that I dearly love. I am at peace, at one with all. Love is the magical word which transcends all. With love in my heart, my sun will expand, and that is what love is about. learning, growth, evolution. So, I'll keep on keeping on, as White Eagle reminds us. And to finish with White Eagle, the grand company of the Star Brotherhood is countless. There are many great souls, great beings who have under their command many messengers, disciples, and students. This vast company consists of every soul who has developed true love and gives true service to God and humanity. All those who aspire to work with the light and to bring the light to earth. All such souls are recognized as brothers of the light, so therefore are numbered among the Star Brothers. And this article was in the Stella Polaris in the August-September 1967 issue, pages 155 to 157. If you have that article, you can see where I got my last bit. And now for our earth healing focus. We remember the great need of our world, and we seek to still our mind so that we come into a place of peace and stillness. And in that peace, we draw closer to the light. Let us open our hearts to the light, to the power, love, and wisdom of the light. By this light and love in our hearts, we call to the great angels of the light and healing. Being still, we feel their presence and their power. And now, with all the will of our minds, with all the love of our deepest hearts, we send forth the light. We send it forth as a great star of light, a blazing star, a star of the light, lifting all hearts into the eternal heart of the light. By all the power of light within our hearts, we send forth the light to the world. We hold our beautiful planet in the healing light of the Christ star. We hold within this healing ray the soil, the waters of the earth, the air, and all nature, especially the animal kingdom. And some special attunement for the train derailment in Ohio, USA. North Island of New Zealand. Turkey and Syria. Vanuatu. Madagascar. the bushfires west of Toowoomba, and the train derailment in Greece. We hold in the heart of the star of light the soul of Australia. The soul of the people of Australia. May the light shine through the hearts and minds of the people of Australia to bring healing to humanity and reverence for all life. We hold in the heart of the star of light the soul of New Zealand. The soul of the people of New Zealand. Let us hold within this great healing star anyone known to us personally who is in need of help or healing. Silently, we name them now. And see them radiant in the healing light. And particularly today, we hold the soul of Jonathan Stevens, Vivian Signell and family, Sue Firth, and Tracy Rhodes. Please join me now in saying, "May the light" prayer, which is on your seats and it will be up on your screen. May the light shining within my heart stand guard over my thoughts and guide my speech and actions into ways of service. May the light of the star shine from my heart to heal the sick in mind and body, to comfort the bereaved, to sustain the weary. May the light illumine my understanding and the understanding of all people, being true vision and awareness of the eternal life and of the light within all. Amen. That's pretty nice.
Good morning, everyone. It's so lovely to see you here. And after listening to Sean, aren't you glad you don't work with me? I'm not that bad, am I? No. In Sean's reading, White Eagle said that the sun is the first great cause, and emanating from the sun are the 7 rays of creation, which are linked to the 7 planets and the 7 notes in the diatonic scale. So we could say from the sun, or the solar logos, are the 7 rays of creation. When we look around us, what do we see? We see colour and light and shade and textures. We hear the sound of the birds, the music of the wind and the trees. Nature is absolutely radiant with colour, sound, perfume, and nature includes the human race. And we have been created, everything we see, we touch, has been created by this supreme energy, this power. So today, I thought it would be lovely, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, to share with you the teachings of White Eagle on what he calls the 7 rays of creation. And, you know, if we're wise, we can respond to all the colours, all the rays, in a different light after we have this understanding. So the first question would be, where do the rays come from? Well, as much as people are turning away from the Bible, it actually has the questions to our answers. We just need to be open and let the wisdom within us interpret the words of the Bible. Now, at the beginning of St. John, the Gospel, it said, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God said, 'Let there be light.'" If there was no light, there would be no life. So we can think of the first great cause as that blazing, eternal, spiritual sun. White Eagle has said, conceive within this sun, this light, the triangle, symbolizing the Trinity within many religions. These are the 3 who have always been since the very beginning, who are concerned purely with the solar system and the evolution of the earthly planet, and who are best understood as the 3 aspects of wisdom, love, and power. And these are the 3 from whom all life comes. Think again of the great cause, the sun. See now from the sun the 7 rays, the 7 colours of the spectrum. Each ray is connected with the sun, and all the angels of the rays work in the souls of people for the evolution, the growth, and the gradual perfection of the individual. In another reading, he said, the 7 is a mystical number, as you know. One might say that the universe vibrates to the number 7, the 7 rays upon which all creatures live and have their being. And at the head of the 7 rays of life are the 7 masters of wisdom of life. And behind the 7 masters are the archangels, the angels around the throne. Right through the heart of life, we find these 7 rays are radiating, and from each ray, another 7, and from each again, another 7, until behind the veil of physical life are unveiled countless hosts of beings, both of the human life of evolution and of the nature. We see the life of every growing thing brought into manifestation, sustained and fed by the harmonizing work of these countless hosts. Isn't that just amazing and wonderful? Doesn't it thrill you to think that those 7 initial rays break down into 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 and continues? Now, in the Bible, it actually speaks about the 7 angels around the throne, also known as the Elohim, or the 7 silent watchers, at the head of their own particular ray, and their role in creation, the evolution of life, is to stimulate or assist humanity on our upward journey towards the central sun, to the light, to the centre of life. Now, our human mind can't possibly grasp the magnificence of these beings, their radiant colours, the colours that we can only glimpse or touch in meditation, their energy field, the power that they are constantly generating and projecting out would be electrifying. All this alone is mind-boggling. But then think that within each of these 7 rays would be numerous life streams coming from that central sun, and the life streams would be returning to that central sun. So there'd be a continual movement of life within each of the rays, a continual in-breathing and out-breathing of life beyond our comprehension. No wonder Sean is in bliss when he's in the world of nature. And I think really we all should spend time within nature every day. And the amazing thing is that that cycle of life that is coming from that great creator, we're part of that life cycle. And slowly but surely we are growing in consciousness of our true nature. We are evolving and perfecting our individual spirit, or our Christ consciousness. And as the reading said that Sean gave us, not only do we have the beautiful colours of the 7 rays, but within those rays is sound, is vibration, is the music of the spheres. And as I said in the beginning, each note is connected to one of the notes in the diatonic scale. Everything is interwoven and all works together harmoniously to assist us in our evolutionary path. When we think of this, when we think how everything dovetails, how everything is beautifully planned, why do we spend so much time worrying about the little things in our life? How can we tune in to this incredible life force that's pulsating through and creating the universe? And it continues to create universe after universe. Remember, as above, so below. So what is happening in the universe is also happening in our universe, within ourselves. So to better understand ourselves and the universe, let's look at each individual ray. So the first ray is red, and it's the ray of power. It is the ray of will. But we must remember that it's divine will. It's necessary for us to have a human will, of course, to give us the courage, the endurance to walk through this life. But ultimately, we need to surrender to the will of God and say, "Thy will, O Lord, not mine, will be done." And it's our inner acceptance of this divine will and this divine plan for our life rather than our will. If we find that within our character we are rather willful, then meditating on the first ray, the ray of the red, would help us to surrender to the divine will. And the first ray resonates to the note C, or in Julie Andrews' song, Do, the first note in the diatonic scale. And White Eagle associates Mars with the planet, with the first ray of power. Now, this is White Eagle's interpretation. Other teachers may bring in other planets, other attributes to the rays, but this is White Eagle's. And when he gave these teachings too, the planet Pluto hadn't been discovered. So I'm not sure now where Pluto sits in this scheme of things. So we go to the next ray, orange or gold, the ray of love, love and science. And the second ray is very closely linked with Divine Mother, the second aspect of the Trinity and the principle of love. Interestingly, orange or the gold sits between the red and the yellow, the first and the third. The will blended with the third ray of wisdom. People on the second ray are servers, ready at all times to serve because of the spirit of love dominant in them. And the prayer of St. Francis is a beautiful example of a second ray person. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Grant that I may not seek to console rather than to be consoled. So there's that lovely giving of love. Meditating on the gold ray would encourage us in our ability to love and to let go of old hurts. And the note for the second ray is D, otherwise known as Ray, and the planet is the sun. The third ray is yellow, and the ray of wisdom. It's the ray of the philosopher and the thinker and it's very much connected with the planet Mercury. If in this incarnation you are experiencing the third ray, then you would likely be a person who would want to be their own teacher, to experience life and not depend on what other people tell you. In this way, you would find your own inner wisdom. And when you do find that inner wisdom, you would be calm. You would be able to handle any situation with wisdom because you have a greater understanding, a greater tolerance of life. So in our life, when we need to make a decision, meditate on the colour yellow. Tune in to the angels of Mercury, and you will find your inner wisdom. And the note for yellow is E or me. The green ray of harmony. I love green. The green sits in the centre of the 7 rays, and it's a ray of balance because it does sit in the centre. And interestingly, it sits between the colour yellow and blue. And the artists in our midst know that when you mix yellow and blue together, you actually make green. White Eagle says, this green we attach to Saturn. We see in the planet Saturn a harmonizing and balancing influence. He went on to say, Saturn is usually the great barrier between the lower and the higher mind. And until a soul has learnt the lessons which Saturn teaches, it cannot enter into the higher worlds. When we pass through the gateway of Saturn, then it can proceed to those higher realms. Now, when talking about Saturn, we always like to imagine the hourglass, and our life here is the lower hourglass, and Saturn pushes us through that very narrow part of the hourglass, and if we can be pushed through that, we will go into our higher consciousness. Well, the green ray also helps us to do this, and it helps us to learn the balance in our life, within our being, to be centered in the marketplace. In other words, while everything is raging around us, we can still be calm and balanced. And isn't it interesting that the whole world is dominated by the colour green? God, the Creator, is giving us the tools to help us find this balance. When we do find this balance, we are at peace. And the green ray gives off the note F or Fa. Then we come to the blue ray, the wisdom devotion. And Venus is the planet that is associated with the blue ray, the ray of science, which includes religious science, the science of prayer. And the angels of the blue ray bring the qualities of peace, power, and strength. So when we need to contemplate, when we need peace and strength, attune to the angels of the blue ray. It was really interesting when I was trying to pull this talk together, and I've wanted to do this for 2 months now. I was having a blank moment that lasted a couple of hours. And it was causing me great stress because I was running out of time. So I had a shower and I was drawn to put on colours in blue, green and purple. And I immediately felt the change of vibration within me and the talk started to flow. It just came miraculously. And Peter thanks the angels of the blue ray. Peace and strength from the angels. That's what we can get. And the note is G or so. Indigo, the beautiful indigo colour, is another ray of love, the ray of true goodness, the ray of the mystic. And if we're struggling with conditions around us, both in our life and in the world conditions, focusing on the indigo ray helps us to let go of the pettiness of life and helps us to be mindful in all things. We can't shut ourselves away from the world as much as we'd like to. We need to be in the world, but not of it. And the angels of the sixth ray, the indigo, helps us to find that higher octave of love, love for all life, to find love in others' hearts. White Eagle has referred to the Master Jesus as the head of the indigo ray. And doesn't Jesus demonstrate this in his life? And the planets associated with the sixth ray are Jupiter and Uranus. So we come to the last ray, the violet, the power ray, the ray of beauty, ceremony and ritual. And it's interesting that when we blend blue and red together, violet is the colour produced. So we blend the blue of devotion with the red ray, the will, to will the will of God, and it creates magic because we're using our will in a positive way. And when we do this, miracles happen. We focused on the World Healing Prayer today, praying for the balance within nature. Just imagine if we could all tune into that violet ray. The ray of violet would cause magic in the world. But the ray of violet needs to be used with wisdom and love. It cannot be used in any other way. And T is the keynote of the seventh ray, or on the diatonic scale is B, and the planet is Neptune. Now, as I said before, I've spoken of the seven rays out here, but within ourselves, we also have a universe. And within us, within our universe, we react to the seven rays of creation. Each chakra is aligned to a ray starting from the base, which is red, and going up to the purple. And when we find that balance within our heart center, which is the green ray, isn't it amazing? Because everyone thinks of the heart center as the rose, but if you go up, it's actually the green ray of balance. And when we have balance in our life, when we have balance in our emotions, in our thoughts, we actually have good health. And in our distant healing or our contact healing, we use colour rays. Now, White Eagle has given these colour rays specifically. Now, we don't use red, orange, yellow, blue to the heart when we're doing healing. We use the colour that will bring balance back to that chakra so that the chakra can work on its optimum level. The universe is incredibly amazing. The divine light, call it God, the great white spirit, whatever you like, that creative power holds everything within itself in love, wisdom, power, in perfect balance. In an inner teaching, White Eagle said, in Egypt, the rays of colour were used to heal the body and soul. The wise teacher in that age first taught his pupil to attune himself to the first great cause, the sun, to become in harmony with the sun and with the light, to develop that continual attitude of mind which could neither think nor do harm to any living thing. Thus the pupil made himself a channel. He absorbed the light, and it contacted every center or every chakra in the body, thus reaching through the chakra to the higher bodies, through the 7 chakras to the 7 vehicles of man. And the last word from White Eagle: you carry about you your world of colour. You are clothed in colour. And I see some beautiful colours here today. Your thoughts and your emotions create the colours which you wear. In the Bible, Joseph's brothers tried to rob him of his coat of many colours. But man cannot rob another person of his coat of many colours. Each is clothed in his particular coat, the colours resulting from his thoughts, his speech, his emotions, and his aspirations. And they range from crude, violent shades, which are largely physical, up to the fine celestial shades which indicate the celestial body, or which, to be correct, form the celestial body which clothes the spirit or the true child of God. This is clothing that you cannot take off. It's yours. It's your vibration. And aren't we lovely to have a temple like this created on the 7th ray? So now, with all that talk, shall we just close our mind? Let us put aside all the thoughts. And as Sean referred to, let us breathe in the light. breathing in the light and letting go all tension within the body, letting go of all the thoughts, all the emotions, breathing in the light. And as we do, we become very still. And in that stillness, we can go within our heart center. Here we find that true inner peace. And in that peace, we are able to touch the inner worlds. The world of light and love. And before us, we see a still lake. The lake, the water, is symbolic of your soul. And your soul is still. As you hold this image, your heart opens. And you feel the understanding stirring deep within your heart. You see above the lake, the sun rises, glorious, flaming, radiant, a living fire, a living light, the source of life. And the sun is reflected in the water. Can you feel in your heart a stirring understanding of the light? See from within the sun the rays of light and colour streaming forth over the water and the earth. The colours of the rainbow are moving blending and sparkling on the water. In the stillness, watch, listen, feel, and hear how each of these colours sounds in its own musical note. And within these living flames of light, angel forms appear. You may like to attune yourself to a particular ray, breathing in the qualities. Stand in that ray. Absorb the essence. And be filled with that spiritual life and light. Feel every cell in your body responding to the ray, healing, restoring, rejuvenating, until you are glowing with light. The rays from the angels are penetrating the earth. And as they do, the rays give life to the earth. The plants are being permeated with this life force. And as the rays penetrate deeper into the earth, it gives life to the soil, to the rocks and stones. And they too give forth colour and sound. The rays penetrate the animal life, the insect and the bird life. All life is vibrating to the color, the sound, the perfume of the 7 angels around the throne of God. And it's all held within the vibration of God, our Creator. Being held within the vibration of God, we very gently become aware of our body, our physical body that is radiating with light. Be aware of the stillness of your emotions, the stillness of your thoughts. Be aware of the light within every cell of your body as you very gently come back into your physical body, breathing your way in, coming all the way back into your physical body, sitting here in the temple. And you may like to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, shrug your shoulders as you come all the way back.
was beautiful. Let us close this service in prayer. O great Spirit, we earnestly pray that each soul may receive the blessing of thy love and wisdom. May all receive a manifestation of the power and presence of the angels of the Christ circle. We pray that the light may go forth to cover the whole earth. May the angels' song of peace and goodwill to all people become a reality in the soul of humankind. Amen. Thank you all for attending the service today or watching online. We hope you have been touched by the peace, the love, the light within the teachings of White Eagle. I have. But before we go, I've got a few announcements to make. We have a new book, Beyond and Within. It's a book on meditation, or the White Eagle Way to Meditate Effortlessly. Oh, that's one I need to have done. Okay. It is available for $24.95 plus postage. From what I've read, it seems pretty cool to read. Anna Haywood has compiled this book by all of White Eagle's teachings, so it should be pretty cool. And we have the newsletter, Peace of the Valley, the summer edition. What goodies have we got in here? We've got some pretty good stuff to read in there. Check it out. Won't give out all the good fun. And this is probably what you've all been waiting for, activities and retreats for this year. We have a retreat in June, Walking with Angels. That's the 3rd of June. And we have one in September, Joy in Living. That should also be pretty cool. And there's something to do with blessing of the animals and the earth gathering, Saturday, 4th of October. So these have all been emailed and sent out, posted. We've got some more outside too. So awesome. Thank you.